You've spent thousands of dollars on a gorgeous website that looks really profesh, congrats, but doesn't seem to be getting you any clients. Here's the truth, that's not your fault. Not at all. You see, there's a hidden reason why many of these gorgeous websites are actually quite useless most of the time, and a lot of designers won't share those reasons with you. Well, in the next 7 minutes, I am going to share with you what's really going on and how you can avoid that. In fact, I'm going to share with you 3 mistakes that I see clients that come to me making every single day. In fact, I see these mistakes in businesses that I interact with too. So, are you ready? Let's go. See which ones of these resonate with you. The first mistake is the professional trap. Yes, I did say that. Being professional sometimes acts like a trap. You see, somewhere in the history of your worldview of business, you have decided that you need to look super profesh, schmick, fabulous, golden, beautiful business card website. I hear all the time. Something that represents your brand in a very polished corporate way. And look, branding is important. The way people perceive you is important, but sometimes we focus so much on looking professional that we actually cause a disconnect between ourselves and our customer. Because you've been polishing every word to sound just right. You've been picking every picture, every color, every graphic to look just right. And in the process, you've completely lost you and your connection to your customer. You see, this creates distance and it might feel safe to you. It might feel like the right thing to do, what you should do, what's expected. But if it's not bringing you in clients, I'm guessing this is why. Now that we all do it, I did this too. I did this with Edufolios. In fact, I poured so much energy into making that Edufolios website look professional and corporate that I didn't realize how that damaged my brand. For a good couple of years, it was slowing the growth of my product. I had a sleek website, fancy branding. It looked super profesh, and everyone who came to it then assumed that my business was a massive corporation, not a business with two people running it, a business with a founder who was incredibly passionate about education, incredibly passionate about the impact that teachers make, incredibly passionate about making sure that teachers felt seen, heard, validated, and could improve their practice and feel even more awesome. Yeah, I said all of those things, but it looked like a big corporation pretending to have all of those things. It wasn't down to earth enough. And that became a barrier because teachers then assumed we were like Google or Microsoft and wanted to know why we dared to charge them. Interesting, right? So you need to know your client really well and you need to know how to build a relationship with them with your brand. And sometimes, if you've gone too far, you will lose that connection. And let's be honest, keeping up that professional banter, that gorgeous polished look, can be quite exhausting, especially if that's not really authentically you or aligned to who you are or what you do in some way. I'm not saying you have to rock up in your jeans and t shirt. Well, there's nothing wrong with that if that is your brand. But, like we don't want to present something that isn't you, doesn't reflect your values, and is designed because you think you should appear that way. That creates disconnect. It's a bit like one of those fey glamours in those books I like to read, where we just sort of have an outside facade that makes us look one way, but inside we don't feel it. And of course, that taps into imposter syndrome and creates all sorts of barriers for you as a business owner, too. Oh, I said it. So, have you ever felt like you've been hiding behind your brand? When you look at your website, does it feel like you? Does it look like you? Can your customers feel that mismatch? Because what they want is to feel your presence, to feel held by you, to feel seen by you, to be connected with you. And if your professional, polished website is preventing that, you've got a problem. Does that resonate with you? Have you ever felt like that? Hit like if you can recognize that, where you've worked with someone or you've been turned off by their website because it feels too fancy, too expensive, or they don't seem to align with your values as a customer. Hit like if that resonates. Yeah, I thought it might. It's an interesting one. Mistake number two is usually for those of us who are personal brands, and it's the expert showcase. We've all done it. We have our website and we start talking about ourselves, what we know, our experience, our qualifications, and we put it all out there because we feel like that's really, really important to the person we want to work with us. We want them to know that we've done the work and we've got the qualifications. There's no imposter syndrome here at all. It's coming from a good place, right? You want people to know you're credible, and authority is a huge part of your brand. It has to be. The problem comes when you're not sharing your authority in a way that helps your customer resonate with you. If when I come to your website, I'm just reading about your experience, what you've been doing, and your qualifications with no connection to me as your client, my problem, and what I need from you, you're going to make me work really, really hard, too hard. Don Miller, my coach, tells me that, what's really important in our human biology is survival. And we don't want to burn calories. We need to be able to do things burning as least calories as possible. When you're asking me to join the dots between what you know and do and what I need, you're asking me to burn too many calories. So, how can I demonstrate this? If you head to my website, selenawoodward.com, and go to my about page, you'll see how to do this. All right. You'll see a page that's effectively meant to be about me. And I do share my experiences, my expertise, my story, growing a six-figure business, burnout, what I learned, going from teacher to CEO. It's all there. But the way I frame it is all designed to help my ideal customer avatar, who's called Serendipity in my mind. Serendipity, when she reads that page, I want her to feel seen. I want her to think, wow, this person gets it. They've been where I've been. They can definitely help me. So, whilst my authority is there, it is framed in a way to encourage connection with my future clients. Maybe that's you. Go and have a look at selenawoodward.com and head to my about page. Check it out and let me know in the comments what you see, what you think of that about page. Break it down. Be an English teacher if you want. Analyze away. It's never about, hey, here, I'm so amazing, and more about, here's my experiences. Do you resonate with those? Would you like to avoid these bad bits? Because I can help you do that. And everyone's like, yes, please. That's what you want. That's how you create connection. So many business owners, even maybe you, have made the mistake of needing to stand really far forward and shout from the roof about how great they are and how many qualifications they are. And you're actually creating a barrier, not connection. So here's another challenge. In the comments below, give me a pile of books emoji if you're telling the story of you on your website. And then, a suitable emoji of like, oops. Or a star emoji. Go for whichever one feels and resonates best. If you understand this and you're already telling your story as the guide, I've done this and I've been there. Let me help you, hero, client, serendipity. If that's you, give me a star. I read all the comments, so I'll give you some love. Now, mistake number 3 is kind of more relevant, I think, if you have a product, but you let me know in the comments. I like to call this one the overload trap. And it always makes me laugh because, oh my goodness, did I lean on this one when I started building my business Edufolios? Yes, I really did. We were so proud of this technology stack, of what we'd built, how clever it was. And so our entire website, and I'll again talk about this next week, talked about our software and what it did and how it did it, and look how cool it is, and not one word really about my customer and how any of that benefited them. And we knew, we had to do, fab features and benefits, and we did features a lot. We just forgot the benefits. And if we did do the benefits, we didn't really pay much attention to that because we weren't really clear about that. Let's be honest, in the initial, we didn't know what we were doing to start with. And so the overload trap is really real. And I always remember working with an amazing sales coach who in our first session said, go on then, imagine you're on a call with me. I'm a school. I want you to sell me Edufolios. So launched into what I normally did. And at the end, her words to me were, you just vomited all over me. I was a bit confused. You've just vomited all over me. Word vomit. You have not stopped talking and you've told me so much about your product. I am so overwhelmed and I want to put the phone down. So if I look at your website and all I'm hearing is, here's what we do, here are the features, here are the benefits, this is what it does, this is how quickly we can get it done for you. You might think those are the really important things to you, but your client is now so overwhelmed in information that they're having to burn so many calories to connect the dots back to them that they've walked away. I had some harsh lessons to learn, some of which I will be sharing with you in this video series. Can you resonate with that? Oh my God, it was not a fun experience, but it was such a key lesson. It's so valuable. Because, confused people always say no. Overwhelm does not convert a sale. People will back away slowly instead. The truth is, when you try and say everything, you end up saying nothing. You make your dream client work way too hard to work out how you can help them. And you're burning too many calories. They're going to walk away. So if understanding your message requires effort, then we're not on the right track at all. So whether you're hiding behind credentials in your authority or flooding people with features, you're making it all about you. Brene Brown says clarity is kind, clear is kind. In marketing, clarity is magnetic. It's what draws people to you. It's how we create connection. And you can see already, what do you think of these 3 mistakes? Have you witnessed them? Are you listening and understanding how these are creating barriers? Let me know in the comments. All right, we have covered a lot today, from sounding way too professional, looking too professional, and yes, that is a thing, to overloading people with your brilliance and credentials, or drowning them in lots of information. And if any of these mistakes are making you want to back into the hedge like Homer Simpson, making you feel a bit ick, that's absolutely awesome. Because you are noticing. And noticing is the first step to making a change, to growing. So I always get excited about that. Good. So next week, I am going to help you make those shifts. If these are resonating with you, next week I'm going to show you them in my own history of marketing and show you the changes that I made to double revenue, to scale my business with all these very simple tweaks that I know you can implement. You'll be fine. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the notification of next week's video. Anyway, in the meantime, look, I read every comment and I love to know where you're at. So do let me know which one of these messaging mistakes resonated with you most, 1, 2, or 3. And while you're waiting for next week's episode, go and grab my magnetic messaging formula over at selenawoodward.com. That's a great little freebie that has everything you need in it to start flipping the way you're thinking about this. It's going to walk you through step by step some quick formulas that will help you communicate your message in a way that avoids all of these mistakes. Go grab it right now. You got this. You've totally got this. I'll see you next week.